We beat to rap, what key beat to lock, but I'm cool like that. I'm cool like that. I'm cool like that.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Cam. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Alright, so in today's video, we are going to be exploring the feminine urge. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you go ahead and like this video, comment down below one of your feminine urges, and also subscribe to this channel, subscribe to my second channel, and if you want to keep up with me outside of YouTube, you can follow me on all of my social media. Everything will be on the screen and linked down below, and without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is give a little bit of a backstory on the feminine urge. It's a trend that happened to start on TikTok, and it's basically where girls and women were putting a video of themselves and then just putting text over it, and the text would just generally include the feminine urge to, and then ... It would just list a bunch of things that they had the feminine urge to do, and a lot of things were like traditionally women type of things. And I would just go ahead and put some examples on the screen so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. So the feminine urge, as you can see, are basically just exaggerated urges based off of stereotypes. So in my opinion, a lot of these things are things that we are thinking but not actually saying. I think it might be in fear of being judged for wanting things that are traditionally seen as stereotypes to be your actual life. Like if we were to unapologetically express the fact that we wanted to participate in traditional gender roles or things that are commonly seen as stereotypes that are attached to women, it would be seen as bad in our current society for whatever reason. As an example, if you were to say something like the feminine urge to find a wealthy man to provide for you so that you never have to work a day in your life and you can be a stay-at-home mom/housewife in today's world of ultra-feminism and girl boss attitudism, that would be incredibly taboo. But I don't think it takes away from the fact that there are still some women that want to live these more traditional lifestyles. I just think a lot of them are afraid to actually say it and put it out there for fear of backlash or being judged or just being ruthlessly dragged. But it seems to me that if we phrase it as being a joke or just complete sarcasm or not fully being serious about actually living that way, hence the feminine urge too, and big emphasis on the urge, you can actually get away with saying it. And the biggest gag of them all is that people will agree with you, and I think that's the real tea. So my big question about all of this is, are they exploitative and are they rooted in some type of misogyny or misogynoir? In my honest opinion, I low-key kind of feel like the feminine urge has brought about a lot of women just saying that these are the things that they would urge to do if they're tapping more into their femininity. A lot of the times now, since we have this very like independent woman type of energy going around and everybody wants to be like independent and be able to get their own bag, like a lot of what I've heard or a lot of what has been going on and has been really popular is, I don't need a man, I can get my own bag, I can make my own money. A lot of women are business owners, entrepreneurs. A lot of them are getting into more like male dominated industries and things like that, where they don't necessarily require having a man to bring in all the income. They can fully provide for themselves and their children if they have children, just based off of the job that they have alone. But I think when you're calling to attention stuff like the feminine urge, it really does show that somewhere deep down, a lot of us do have the urge to live this sort of more traditional type of lifestyle. And I use the word traditional very lightly because that can mean whatever it means. I think traditional changes throughout whatever generation that we're in, and it basically changes throughout whatever decade or era that we're in, because it's not ever going to have the same same meaning, just like beauty standards are not ever going to mean the same thing year to year or decade to decade. So I think the way that we view a traditional woman is obviously someone that like stays at home, and it is typically a housewife or stay-at-home mom, and just takes care of everything at the house and lets her husband work. Or if she has her own job, you know, she takes up her job, but then she also goes and does those stereotypical wifely duties that are roles that are largely cast onto women as it is and traditionally. And to come at it from a misogyny or misogynoir point of view, I would say that a lot of the specific feminine urges that I've seen, it's translated and it's progressed to not only just be the feminine urge, but it's broken off and it's become like the black feminine urge and things like that. And when I see stuff like that, a lot of black women and black girls are expressing the fact that they want a lifestyle that is that of a more traditional woman. And I think when talking about it, you have to understand like really the context behind it, because a lot of what has happened in the past, or what has been so for black women in general, is sort of like an all my life I had to fight sort of mentality. Like a lot of it is associated with like single motherhood and just struggling because the dad is not in the home, or the man or the father is not a part of the household. And so a lot of what I've been personally seeing is black women expressing an urge and a need to be soft and to be provided for and to be taken care of, which is something that we don't traditionally have access to, or something that we haven't traditionally been exposed to within the last like 10, 20, 30 years or something like that. But I don't necessarily think it's exploitative or that it's rooted in misogyny or misogynoir, but I do think it calls to the attention the fact that there are some people that still want to live traditional lives, or at least there are women that still have the urge to live traditional lifestyles, or to really go out and express their more feminine side and to just really be very feminine and different to what society's definition of feminine is right now. But they just kind of want to live their life and be taken care of and be pampered and just be done up, be dolled up, and just really truly embrace their feminism or femininity. Yeah, femininity is the right word. And I think the reason why this trended in the first place is the fact that a lot of these things are very relatable. And like I said before, it calls attention to the fact that we all have these common thoughts and we're kind of urging and yearning for these common experiences. So one thing that I definitely want to point out, because since I've already touched on misogyny and misogynoir as far as like exploitative thing with this whole feminine urge trend, I want to talk about the masculine urge, because that's also something that I have seen, and that is kind of something that formed out of the whole feminine urge trend. And of course it derived out of this specific trend, but this is actually something that I do personally feel like is rooted in misogyny and misogynoir, because a lot of the men are just blatantly revealing the fact that they hate women and want nothing to do with women and don't have any respect for women at all, or that they see women as being beneath them, which is very, very strange, first of all, that you would reveal on the internet to thousands and thousands of people, because a lot of these posts have gone viral, but you are literally publicly announcing the fact that you're probably mean to women and that you have no respect for them at all. And like some of it could possibly be taken as a joke, but a lot of it is just like, why would you even joke about something like that? Because not only is it rooted in misogyny and misogynoir, but a lot of what I've seen has been colorist, it's been sometimes racist, fatphobic, like it's really out of pocket. Like the men on here really just said they did not care about what anybody think. They were just gonna spill their guts on the internet, and what are you gonna do about it? And a lot of it is just toxic, and it's not even violence, but babe, it's jail. So another thing I want to address is divine femininity and femininity coaches, because with this rise of the feminine urge, you can also kind of see paralleling a bunch of different like movements. I think the black girl luxury movement is a good example, but just having divine femininity, that's something that I mentioned a little bit earlier in the video, just really tapping into that femininity and wanting to connect with that inner femininity is something that I feel like a lot of women have been getting into over the last year. Obviously with that comes femininity coaches. They have really like popped off, and they're just basically giving advice about how you can become more feminine. And a lot of what they preach is basically just adhering to gender roles and being hyper feminine in order to attract a high earning or a high value man. And I personally think that there's a difference between a high earning man and a high value man, but we're not gonna get into all of that in this video. What I really personally feel like is that a lot of these videos are more so catered towards black women for all of the reasons that I mentioned earlier in the video. It's because a lot of the stereotypes that are associated with black women being strong, being independent, being aggressive, being angry, just, you know, struggling every day in their life because there's usually not a father figure or a man in the house to help them with obviously financial things, raising children, and everything under the sun like that. And so because of that, we're often just masculinized because we have to take up the role of both man and woman. And so that's the reason why not only do I think a lot of black women are having these feminine urges and are yearning to be able to be soft and taken care of and things like that, but it's also the reason why femininity coaches are more so gearing their content towards women that look like me, black women. And don't get me wrong, I think another reason reason why a lot of the femininity coaches and divine femininity channels catered their content more towards Black women is because there's been a whole movement where Black women have begun to divest and seek out luxury and everything that comes with that lifestyle, because again, they want to feel soft, they want to be provided for, they want to be taken care of, they don't want to have to continuously struggle day by day, and they want to pamper themselves and they want to treat themselves to nice things just like women of other races have been able to for literally like ever. And none of that is a bad thing. I actually think it's a really, really good thing. But one thing that I do want to note and point out is that I've noticed that Black women are a lot more received this way when they're soft, when they're very upkept looking, when they're more into the luxury, when they just look a lot more, I don't want to use the word assimilated, but it gives assimilation vibes when they just look more put together. And I also think that's a really bad word, but for now, that's like the only way that I can describe it. And what gets me is the fact that I don't know why we can't be received in any way other than that. Like when we're in our stereotypical Black woman formed, we're definitely not received because a lot of it is seen as like aggressive, like I said, angry. A lot of it is seen as ghetto, ratchet, and things like that. But when we transform kind of in this more luxury view, and when we're, you know, like acting classy, I hate using these words because I don't want to associate certain words with things because I don't think it should be necessarily. But from a societal standpoint, when you're more classy, when you're more put together, when you look luxurious, when you look like you're well taken care of and that you take care of yourself and like almost kind of like you have money and that you're able to have these nice things and live this nice lifestyle, people are more likely to receive you as a Black woman, which is very, very interesting. It's a very interesting thing that I've noticed from looking at all of this divine femininity and Black girl luxury content. All right, guys, so that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give it a like and also comment down below any other arguments or anything else that you want to say in regards to this topic. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to my channel and that your bell notification is on so you don't miss whenever I post. And also make sure you subscribe to my second channel. That's where I post all of my natural hair and lifestyle content. And if you want to keep up with me outside of YouTube, you can follow me on all of my social media, my Instagram, my spam account, my TikTok. Everything will be on the screen and linked down below. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to be the light, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.